Right, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, 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 Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to you, sincere Akim, laboring in its truth. All right, in sincerity, without wavering, of the hopeful elect. This show, and maybe it might be a part one. We'll see how far we get. But this is going. The title's going to be 6G, the C hip in health. All right, in your health, and it basically I'm titling it that. I mean, I'm gonna get to this article. I went into some of it in one of the other videos, but I'm gonna go into some other stuff dealing with the 6G. Basically, it's all tied in. All right, it's all tied in. You know, this is a type of revolution, if you will, or Esau is really pushing this thing, and there's various ways he's going to push the C hip, all right, or the chip, all right, the MOTB. The scriptures say he causes all. Okay, matter of fact, let me before I play this, let me just read that in Revelations, just to set the tone. 13 and 17, right? Or 16. Right, 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, which we know is going into the 666. So now this devil, which they're going to mandate it, but they basically, just like what they did with the jab, they made everybody get the jab, just like these so-called flu jabs or whatever. They're forcing it on people more than ever. They're pushing it through the medical industry, which big pharma, that's all controlled by the Illuminati, you know. That's why the spirit, which is true. I mean, the spirits, Pastor, for the longest, you know, you got to be your own doctor. You got to, you know, and being that we're in the information age or whatever, you know, it behooves you to do as much research as you can. I mean, you know, you got to you got to be balanced though, because fucking Google will diagnose you with stage 80 cancer, saying you're gonna die in 5 minutes and shit. So you gotta pray to the spirit and use the spirit to navigate through it. But you better off, because I remember years ago, cause you know I always had all kind of different shit going on, ailments and pink. I used to get pink eye, all that shit, and you know, because of the environments I work in, primarily I work in construction and all kind of nasty environments and shit. And I remember one time they were trying to, cause I had a rash, a skin rash on my eye, to where, you know, it was bleeding or whatever. So on the corner. So what happened was I went to what was it? I think it was Yukon Doc or whatever. And I was in there for a minute. They was looking they was trying to examine or whatever. And then the spirit had me get up. And I saw them motherfuckers was online. They was online, like putting in the symptoms and trying to see what they could find online, because they kept it real with me. They was like, we don't know. So I say that because the scriptures tell you in Job that the physicians of no value, right? So now don't get me wrong. If you got something deadly, of course, you know, don't be a fool. You know, you get a gunshot wound, or you know, you get a big gash on your flesh, and where you get, you know, working or something, you get a big cut on your neck or whatever. Yeah, go let them sew it up if you got, you know. But overall, as far as, you know, the protocol, because what they want to do is just keep you on medicine and things of that nature, and they're doing that too. And see, the health is incorporated with the C hip. That's why you see them doing it in the medical field, like with Elon Muskie, right? He's talking about they're gonna increase the Neuralink, the brain chip, and they advertise it as if you know, you couldn't move your limbs before, if you had strokes, if you was in the military and you got a prosthetic limb, now you can control it with this chip, and it integrating it into you, and these devils is doing it. So now I'm gonna play this clip right here, right, and then we're gonna get into the scriptures, but just showing you that another way, because they got many ways that they want to advertise and push and promote, and basically ultimately force you to take this chip. All right, the tiny chip is yes, it's talking about the MOTB. I don't know how it's so hard to believe, but I'm gonna play this video. You know, it was interesting. I was watching it. I said, yeah, these devils is coming. You know, coming with different ways.
Bowel cancer is increasing worldwide. Studies show that gut health is on the decline, increasing the risk of a range of diseases.
The number of children and young adults being diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD, has more than doubled in the last 10 years.
I'm in London to meet the researchers using new tech to find out why and how to fix it.
These are complex diseases, so each patient's version of their disease is different. If you take inflammatory bowel disease, for instance, we find that some patients respond to treatments whilst other patients do not. We can't really predict which patients are likely to respond from the outset before we initiate treatment. We need to find better ways of treating patients, tailoring their treatments according to their underlying disease mechanisms.
And see, and now they know about all these things because why? They have the FDA, the Food Drug Administration. They control pretty much the food. So they know, like this is a big experiment, man, you know? So they know what areas are probably gonna suffer from more due to the food and the environment, how much power lines is in the situation, how that radiation slowly and gradually affects the body, the GMOs that they have. So they know that these things, and that's why, you know, they submit America has an obesity problem, and it's not even so. I mean, yeah, it's food, but it's what the food is that they're giving you. They're not giving you real food. They're giving you this, you know, GMO food, and that's why in a lot of these other countries, and see that's gonna go into too, and that's why these things are gonna break out because you got certain people in a lot of these countries that are that are against what the United States are doing. They still got resistance, not just here but abroad. And then ultimately, some of these things are going to lead as well into that tension of causing the beast that hate the whore. You'll see more and more different of these NATO nations or people affiliated, all right, basically getting ready to draw arms at America, because that's prophecy. But now as far as the food and everything, you know, that's how they know people, you know, they can predict it and everything and know what areas have high diabetes. You know, this is by design. These devils, the scriptures say they accomplish a diligent search. You see, so they know, like right now, everybody in the gut is the hardest place to, you know, Apostle Tar always talks about it, which is true, the gut. So, and the gut is where you know, is where a lot of things take place, where you have your pancreas, you know, your liver, which is responsible for, you know, moving things around, you know, sending things as needed. Basically, all the organs are tied into the liver, you know. So your liver, your colon, your gut. So the Esau, his food and stuff designs it. So they create this problem. So now here they come with the solution.
The team at Imperial College want to do this by putting your gut onto a chip. So
yeah, that's their solution. Basically, the chip is the solution for everything. You got a runny nose, you need a chip. All right, you can't find your keys, you need a chip. You're sad, you got bouts of depression, you need a chip. Okay, that's basically the answer for everything from this government, and they're pushing it. They're not even giving people a chance to think about it. They just pushing it. And if the Lord ain't with you, you're going to take it. You're going to let them. And you see how vain people are, because people, more than ever, everybody, you know, goes to the doc, because instead of, you know, finding a dieting and exercising, right? That's the three things: prayer, dieting, and exercising is the key to losing weight. And, you know, exercise could be just walking a certain amount of miles or whatever. Dieting could be eating, you know, different diet and cutting out the sugar, carbs, and things, you know, of course, the GMO shit and all that, right? And above all, prayer, especially if you were Israelite. So instead of doing that, what people have done in these past, I say 15 years, maybe even better, they've been going, and that's why a lot of these, especially these women, a lot of them been dying. You had this one black police officer from NYPD, which a woman ain't supposed to be no fucking cop, a military soldier, none of that. All right, a woman is a female attendant. That's what the word woman actually means, right? But and then everybody's gonna find out now, because real soon in this day and age, everything is slowly and surely going back to how it used to be. All this candy cane society with all these fairy tales and all, you know, all this women empowerment and all that. That's gonna be a thing of the past, man. I keep saying it. It's going to be a thing of the past because it's not right. All right. But anyway, you got most of these women going down there in this NYPD cop. And she was kind of she was a pretty girl. She was a little thick, but she was pretty. And she went down there, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now they mourning her because she got She died during the this surgery. You know, I forget what they call BBLs and all that shit, lipo. And then now they got the new craze, the Ozempic. So they know people are very conscious of that, the fact that they're fat and they're obese. So now and people look for what? The miracle pill. So now they're gonna give you they got Ozempic now. People going crazy, even though they're looking crazy, and there's all kind of side effects, and people have died. There's video of people telling you don't do the Ozempic. This is what it did, right? But you got people that are, because they're getting the results, but they're false results. You know, people sitting there cutting their stomach in half and having Esau cut the fat out and drain it or put it to. Now they're going to tell you to take the chip. They're going to say we got even a better way. We got the chip so we can monitor. Watch, they're going to go into it. This is just another way of them issuing the MOTB. All right. So there's many ways. You know, don't think that this ain't real, man. You know, because if you'd have told somebody about this 30 years ago, they'd have like laughed you. They ain't gonna put no computer in your stomach and all. Look what they're doing. They're doing it now.
Tiny chip can hold all of the information that's going on in your gut, meaning that researchers and doctors can create personalized treatments just for you.
See, and they got this creepy looking bitch sitting up there trying to sell it to you like it's something good, like it's a good thing. You know, and again, this is informational use only, fair use. Throw that up in there.
First, the patient sample is collected, human and microbiome cells. They can use the human cells to grow a miniature version of the patient's gut, ready to put on the chip.
If you look at in the microscope, basically we can start seeing, oh, there they are. So very, very nice circles. These are organoids, and they contain lots of stem cells still, so they can grow, they can develop other cell types. And later on, they will have a less circle shape and will contain lots of other cell types.
While the mini organs grow, the other part of the patient sample, the bugs in our gut or the microbiome, is prepped.
See, these devils, man, they're sick, man. This is on the BBC, I think the tech page health. You know, I'm not going to play all of it. I mean, they go into the different ways how they goes is like supposed to be a simulation of your stomach, and that's the fluids and, you know, all the bacteria and how it works. And so he's breaking down how you can use a chip to fix your gut, because everybody, that's a major problem is gut bacteria, you know, gut bacteria. So a lot of people suffer for that. And that's why a lot of people walking around with that kangaroo pouch and beer belly or whatever. You see, but that's this devil, man. This devil is nothing but a Frankenstein. The scriptures say they accomplish a diligent search. So now we're going to go to the scripture. Actually, I had Ecclesiastes 7:29, right? It says, lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. And really, this, I mean, yeah, our people is wicked, sought, you know, different God, but really this is going into the so-called white man. You apply this to this devil, man, because the Most High made the body perfect. The body is perfect. That's where they designed a lot of the vehicles and the computers and stuff is basically off of the body, how the Most High, the Lord made the blueprint when he created these bodies that we live in. All right, the body is designed to heal itself. The liver, they say, can regenerate itself. That's why, you know, they say it's almost never too late to start, but you got to, you know, take the right herbs and all that, you know, the milk thistles and everything else, and get on the right regimen, all right? And if you could get your liver going again, then it could start, you know, healing your other organs, the kidneys and things of that nature. But you could do that through prayer and overall through prayer and herbs, all right? So this devil thinking that he's the Most High, that's why he sit there and make these prosthetic limbs and everything. You know, look, man, Yahweh Shai could make your arm just grow back naturally, a part of your body. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. These devils got to sit there and get all kind of plastic and, you know, and then what they do is they have it to where everything is set to operate with the seed. And once they get one chip in you, they're going to get another chip in you and another chip into you till you turn into fucking R2-D2 or something. You know, you're a damn robot. That's how this devil is, man. All right, it's never enough. So it said, lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. And you know that word invention, right? We're going to go into it. They have sought out many inventions, all right? Chasha Bawan, right? From Chashab, the root word. Let's see what the root word is. Chashab, yep. Which means to think, plan, esteem, calculate, invent. They're always trying to invent some new program and trying to play the most side. Basically, make a judgment, imagine, count, to think, account, to plan, devise. This is what they're devising. So if you don't think that the MOTB is a real thing, then you're not paying attention. You're in the land of the lost. All right. So now let's go back to the actual word. That was the root word, right? That it come from. It says basically a device or an invention. You see, the MOTB, the chip, as they calling it, right? Because there's different variations from the microchip to the RFID chip to the digital. They got different steps or evolutions of the CHIP, the MOTB, right? But that's what it is. It is a device. It's an implantable device. And that's where 6G comes into the play, because that allows it to integrate better with the system, with their computer, so they can control you. All right. So now I'm gonna go. And this was Let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? Can I find it? Can I find it? I think we got it. Oh, matter of fact, it might be here. It should be here. Right. So now I was going into this early the other day, right, about the 6G. Now, again, 6G is expected to offer. This is from the AI overview, to offer significant advantages for future implantable biomedical applications. Like you see what they're doing. They're talking about getting a chip even into your gut. So yeah, the prophecy tell you they want to put it in your hand and your forehead, right? The brain chip. Also, that doesn't limit them from not putting it in any other parts of your body. You see, now they sitting there talking, and look, people are gonna take it, because people will sit there. People will sit there and take the Ozempic. People will sit there and go do surgery where you could die. A lot of people die. Kanye West's mother, sacrifice or not, whatever, however you want to look at it, right? That's how she went out. You see. So with this chip, they're gonna put it all up in you, and then now they're rolling out the 6G. So you're gonna be totally locked in. That's how we gotta be in the time, man. All right. We gotta be in the time. Ain't gonna be no. Look, at this rate, they keep going, and then not to mention World War III, which is closer than ever. The rumors are louder than ever at this point in 2026. There's no way this. And they keep talking this 2030. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, the Most High, how about Shemal Shah? So you're gonna cut their time short. All right, but that's the devil, the wicked boasting. That's all they like to do. But anyway, I'm gonna read this again. It says, by providing faster speeds, higher data capacity, and improved reliability compared to current wireless communication technologies. Right? And that's why they're not going to use the phones no more, because you're going to be the phone, and now you're going to be ready for the 6G. All right? And they're going to be able to communicate faster, so they'll be able to keep up with you in real time. They'll be able to see what you're doing. They'll be able to sense through you emitting a signal from you what's around you, your surroundings, everything, man. It says, here's how 6G could be better for implantable microchips, which that's an implantable microchip they try to put in your gut. Enhanced data transmission. 6G networks, which will operate on much higher frequency bands, starting from 7 to 15 gigahertz. And now you see all these, they got the fiber optic cable almost everywhere. I remember when they first was talking about that shit, and like about 20 years ago, but they actually, you've been seeing all the construction and redoing, there's really hardly no more of the old Cat 6, old cable system. It's all fiber optic, especially if you want that speed. And now you see these companies, the phone company, whatever internet they're offering. Oh, we have a faster, because why? It goes into the 6G. All right, and it shows you the speed, how it increases, starting from 7 to 15 gigahertz and potentially up to 100 gigahertz or more. Can theoretically reach speeds of 1,000 gigabytes per second. So that means everything is able to process things in real time. You can stream quicker. You can play live games and all this stuff. So people thinking like, oh, wow. But no, this is really for them to be able to track your ass better, perfect, in real time, and then use you as an actual goddamn. They could use you as a receiver. They could use you to, like I said, emit, send out signals, and you'll be like a human sensor or human camera for these fucking elites, man. If you take that C hit, all right. But it said this speed is crucial for data intensive applications such as real time monitoring. Yeah, there we go. Advanced medical imaging. See, we just see what they did. So they and Trump, when he said in his speech, so what they need now, they need to transmit through the skin. He said that like as a joke, but it's what they doing because why? It's technology, they're pushing it, and they want to chip up everybody. So this is real deal right here, man. All right. It says advanced medical imaging and especially brain computer interfaces. So they could connect you right with the system, with the computer, and control you. Okay. Integrated ISAC, which stands for Integrated Sensing and Communication. A key feature of 6G is the integration of wireless communication and sensor-based detection into a single system. So they could feed more information to. They could fucking control. Who's to say they can't control you, right? Because they control people. What right now through the TV, cell phones. That's why you got people spending so much ads, the power of suggestion, right? They create the algorithm, so it's almost to the point where you're breathing and thinking of things that they're constantly putting it in your face and using frequencies and you know what I'm saying, and different sound waves. So that stuff is damn it. You're brainwashing, hypnotized. All right, that's a real thing. These devils have studied all these things, man. The scriptures. That's why the Lord referred to them as our deadly enemies, man. This is some deadly shit that they doing. And if you sit there and take this chip, you're gonna die. All right, you're gonna die. There's no other way around it, man. But now it says a key feature of 6G is the integration of wireless communication and sensor-based detection into a single system. This would enable implantable devices to not only transmit data, but also sense the surrounding biological environment in real time. So you turn into a damn surveillance camera, man. Okay? It's almost like that movie They Live. You know? Whereas if what was it? You take the glasses off, you seen who was a reptilian or whatever it was. That movie with my man, what was it, Paul Orndorff? No, Roddy Piper and the other Jake. Then when you put the shades on, you can see who's a reptilian. It's like I might have said it backwards. Well, yeah, that's what it is. All right. So they want to turn you into they straight up robots, man. All right. But let me see. Let me get back where I was at. Okay. Yep. It says allowing for more efficient remote monitoring and faster medical responses. See, they're using that health thing to push it, right? That's why it was in the that Obamacare package. Remember years ago when the Pop Star was bringing it out, that big thick ass booklet that nobody's not going to read. And Esau does that in Esau's world, and that's why this world, everything is a fucking contract. It's like that nobody's here. It is. You got to sign a contract within 2 minutes, but it's fucking 30 pages of all kind of small writing and everything. Who's gonna read all that shit right then and there, right? So this is how this place is, man. It's deceitful, it's traps. So this shit got to be destroyed anyway, man. You know, because that's how people don't even realize they sign their rights away because nobody reads all the whole contracts, and then it's shame on you because you ain't read it all. And they know realistically most people are not gonna. Most people can't even fucking probably read. But anyway, digressing, Salakia. It says miniaturization, new chip designs and nano networking research beyond 6G are exploring ways to use higher frequencies for communications within or between implantable devices. So you got one motherfucker that's chipped up and another nigga that's chipped up. They can sit there and wire them motherfuckers. You can say, look, kill the nigga without the chip. And they'll look at, like mind control. They'll look at each other. They all be like agents from the Matrix. Okay, but this is what the 6G is going to do. So they could do a whole lot more because of the speed and the accuracy. All right. So this is things that why they're doing this. It says to use higher frequencies for communication within or between implantable devices which allows for smaller antenna sizes and more compact implantable electronics. See? So they're pushing for this, man. Lower energy consumption. Advanced chip technologies being developed for 6G also aim, so it goes hand in hand, also aim for lower energy consumption, which is vital for the longevity of implantable devices and reducing the need for frequent battery replacements, because they're not going to keep bringing you to have to keep changing the battery or nothing like that. No, they're making a better signal and a better chip so it works good. So you basically, and by the time, say in their mind, okay, 10 years later it stopped working, they'll just throw you in the fucking junkyard. All right. But read on a little more. It says current implantable microchips typically use much older and slower technologies like RFID or NFC for basic identification, payments, or accessing medical history. These are fundamentally different from the advanced biomedical devices, which is another term they use, envisioned for future 6G integration. So this is what they plan on doing. This is part of their agenda, man. All right, that's Micah. It tells you, Micah, the second chapter, right? Oh yeah, this is the Salakia. I didn't finish over here. All right, this is for the man that sought out many inventions. The word for invention means device, invention, or engine. But it says from Strong's H2803, right? It says a contrivance, an example, actual, a warlike machine. So they could turn you into a fucking robot, all right? Straight up a machine with these devices, or mental in your mind, all right? The brain chip, a machination, turn you into a fucking engine for the Illuminati, for the elites, all right? So that's what they plan on doing. And now in the book of Micah speaks about it too. See, these are the things that we're supposed to be warning Israel about, man, so they don't get caught up into this. Micah chapter 2, verse 1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity. See, this is iniquity, and they devise and they're planning it, the agenda of what they got to, what they're going to do to the people, and work evil upon their beds. See, at night, they're sitting there, meeting at midnight and coming up with these different plans. When the morning is light, they practice it. So then they put it in the law. All right. They always try to justify themselves with some type of law, right? Which they really on some martial law, admiralty, maritime law. They come in just straight up making whatever they want. They're making the rules as they go because they're gonna push this regardless. Just like here it is. They turn anything you do, this government's gonna spin it against you. You could be totally innocent. They're gonna make you a victim, and there's nothing that you could do about it. All right. They shot the woman in the face in Minnesota. And these riots are not just by chance. They do it. They want this. So that way they can act the military to start basically firing and treating you as the so-called terrorists as they labeling you as. So this thing is heating up. But this is a part of their demonic plan. All right. It said when the morning is light, they practice it. They put it into law, put it into effect, because it is in the power of their hand. You see? But I'm gonna end it right there, Lord willing. Like I said, I'll probably come back with another part to this, or speak on it because it's more information. I mean, you get the gist of it. It's all revolving around showing you how the 6G and the C-HIP, how it's all connected, and your health, all that thing is all connected as far as in their plans of how they rolling this thing out. And we're in the time where they rolling this thing out. Like I said, if this isn't fully enacted or mandated by the end of this year, I'd be surprised. I even say probably because the way things are going, and this devil knows that he's running out of time. So they're in a rush to try to, basically, get things going. And then look, as I'm looking, they got 6G. I believe that's 6G that my phone. So the 6G is already here. The 6G been here anyway, to be honest with you. All right. I remember the Bishop Ayathon was speaking about it. I believe he mentioned it like a few years back, way like, when 5G came out. But anyway, with that, I'm going to say Kal Halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai and Shalom to you, sincere Akim. Shalom.